What would you do if the person you trusted most was the one who put the knife in your back? Tonight, you're about to hear a story of loyalty shattered, blood spilled, and revenge that burns hotter than hell itself. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and smash the like so you never miss the darkest stories of betrayal and justice. Now let's begin. The rain didn't stop that night in New Harbor. It was the kind of rain that blurred the neon lights into bleeding smears across the slick pavement, a city drowning in its own filth. And in the middle of it, Daniel Cross waited. Daniel wasn't just a man, he was a survivor. 10 years of clawing his way up from a street rat to a trusted enforcer for the Marlowe Syndicate, the most feared crime family on the East Coast. He had shed blood for them, buried bodies for them, and built a name that made men lower their voices when they spoke of him. But tonight, Daniel would learn that loyalty in this city was just another word for weakness. The betrayal to Job was supposed to be simple. A meeting. A handoff. No weapons, no heat, no problems. Daniel's best friend, his brother in all but blood, Ethan Cole, had vouched for it. They had fought side by side since they were teenagers, hustling, surviving, rising together. If Daniel trusted anyone in this poisoned city, it was Ethan. But when the deal went south, when masked gunmen poured out of the shadows with military precision, Daniel realized the truth. Someone had set him up. And as bullets ripped through his men and his chest burned with betrayal, Daniel's eyes locked on Ethan across the chaos. Ethan wasn't fighting. He wasn't helping. He was walking away. The aftermath, they left Daniel for dead. 3 bullets. 1 lung punctured. 1 week in a coma. When he woke up in a safe house far from the city, bandaged and broken, only one thought kept him alive. Find Ethan. Make him pay. The hunt begins. Daniel returned to the streets like a ghost. The Syndicate believed he was gone, wiped off the map. Ethan had taken his place at the right hand of Victor Marlowe, the boss himself. But Daniel wasn't gone. He was in the shadows, watching, planning. He built new alliances with those who hated the Marlowe Syndicate, forged weapons in silence, and moved like smoke through the city's veins. And slowly, one by one, those who betrayed him started to disappear. A man drowned in the docks with his own chains. A crooked cop found nailed to his own squad car. An informant discovered with his tongue cut out, message carved into his chest, "Cross isn't dead." The legend spread through New Harbor like wildfire. Daniel Cross had returned. And he wasn't just alive, he was hunting. The trap, but Ethan wasn't a fool. He knew Daniel better than anyone. He knew every move, every weakness. So he set the bait. A meeting in the old glass factory, a location Daniel knew from their past jobs together. Daniel went, knowing it was a trap. Because sometimes, the only way to kill a ghost is to walk straight into the fire. Confrontation. The factory stank of rust and old blood. And in the center, under the pale moonlight streaming through broken windows, Ethan stood. No mask, no lies. Just the man Daniel had once called brother. "Danny," Ethan said softly, almost regretfully. "You should stay dead." Daniel stepped closer, every scar on his body burning. "You took everything from me." "For what?" "Marlowe's scraps? His throne." Ethan smirked, cold and sharp. "Not scraps. Power. You were always too blind to see it. Loyalty doesn't buy survival in this city. Fear does." Their voices echoed like gunshots in the emptiness. And in that moment, Daniel understood. Ethan hadn't just betrayed him. He had chosen this. Power over blood. Ambition over brotherhood. Explosion of violence. The first shot rang out before the words could fade. Gunfire ripped through the factory, sparks flying off twisted metal. Shadows danced with muzzle flashes as both men unleashed years of rage in bullets and fists. Daniel fought like a man who had nothing left to lose. Ethan fought like a man who believed he couldn't lose. The battle was brutal, primal of fists breaking teeth, blood spraying across shattered glass, memories of brotherhood torn apart with every blow. And when the dust settled, both men were broken, barely standing. But only one of them still had fire in his eyes. Cliffhanger. Daniel pressed the barrel of his gun to Ethan's forehead, breath ragged, heart pounding. This was the moment. The justice. The vengeance. But then Ethan whispered something that froze Daniel's finger on the trigger. "You think this is about me? You think killing me will fix it? Danny, you don't even know the real enemy." Daniel's hand trembled on the gun. Ethan's words coiled through his skull like venom. You don't even know the real enemy. He should have pulled the trigger, ended it right there. But instead, he froze. And in that hesitation, Ethan smirked, the same smirk he used to wear when they were kids hustling on the streets. You were always strong, Danny, Ethan whispered, blood dripping down his lip. But strength without knowledge? That's weakness. Then the sound came. The click of safeties being released. From the shadows of the factory, men emerged, armored, masked, rifles raised. Not Marlowe's men. Someone else. Ethan's smirk widened. You see, even Marlowe isn't the king of this city. There's always someone higher. Someone pulling strings. Daniel realized too late. Ethan wasn't lying. He was working for someone bigger. Someone outside the Syndicate. And tonight, they wanted Daniel alive. Captured. The world went black in the hail of rifle butts and boots. When Daniel woke, he was chained in a warehouse. Bright floodlights scorched his eyes. Across from him, Ethan sat free, sipping whiskey, bruised but alive. A new man entered, tall, sharp suit, silver hair, eyes cold as ice. Mr. Cross, the man said, his voice calm, deliberate. My name is Adrian Kade, and whether you like it or not, you are now a piece on my board. Daniel spat blood. Go to hell. Adrian smiled faintly. Hell? No, Daniel. I own this city's hell. Marlowe dances for me. The police bow to me. Even your betrayal, Ethan. He's mine. And soon, so will you be. Daniel's rage burned so hot he thought the chains would snap. But Adrian only leaned closer. Survive, Cross. Show me your worth. And maybe I'll let you keep breathing. The gauntlet. Daniel was thrown into Adrian's underground empire. A hidden network of death matches, black markets, and mercenaries. A crucible designed to break men. But Daniel didn't break. He sharpened. He fought killers twice his size in blood-soaked cages. He hunted traitors through abandoned tunnels. He learned that Adrian wasn't building an empire. He was building a war machine. And every time Daniel survived, every time he clawed back from death, Adrian watched, smiling, testing. Ethan, meanwhile, rose higher in Adrian's favor, always taunting Daniel, reminding him of the knife between them. The twist. But then Daniel found something Adrian never intended. A ledger. Hidden. Secret. Inside, names, numbers, payments. Not just to criminals, but to politicians, federal agents, judges. And there, at the top of the list, Victor Marlowe. Daniel's stomach twisted. It had never been about brotherhood. Never about loyalty. The Syndicate, Adrian, Ethan, it was all one machine. One rotten empire. Adrian didn't own Marlowe. Adrian was Marlowe's master. And Daniel, he had been a pawn in their war all along. The escape fueled by fury. Daniel staged his escape. He snapped chains, spilled blood, and burned half the underground arena to ashes. By the time the smoke cleared, dozens of Adrian's soldiers were dead. But Ethan wasn't among them. He had slipped away again, leaving behind only a message carved into the concrete. Brother, this ends only one way. The final war. The city burned as Daniel declared war. He rallied those broken by Adrian's grippy Syndicate deserters, mercenaries betrayed, even cops sick of the corruption. A rebellion rose in the shadows. And Adrian? He unleashed Ethan like a weapon. The two former brothers clashed across the city, rooftops, alleys, safe houses exploding in fire. Each fight bloodier than the last, until the line between vengeance and survival blurred. The showdown had ended where it began. The docks. Rain falling hard, lightning tearing open the night sky. Daniel faced Ethan one last time, both men scarred beyond recognition, weapons heavy in their hands. You could've been king with me, Ethan growled. You could've been family, Daniel answered. Their guns roared. Their fists shattered bone. Their blades cut deeper than betrayal itself. And finally, with one last surge of fury, Daniel drove Ethan to the ground, his knife pressed against his throat. Ethan laughed, choking on blood. Do it, Danny. Kill me. But it won't change the truth. Adrian still wins. You can't stop him. None of us can. Daniel's hand shook. This was the man who had betrayed him, who had destroyed everything. But killing Ethan, it wouldn't stop the machine. It would just feed it. So Daniel made his choice. He left Ethan alive, broken, defeated, and turned his blade toward Adrian. The end or the beginning. Adrian Kade didn't fall easily. His empire was vast, his reach infinite. But Daniel had become something new. Not just a survivor, not just a soldier. He was a storm, a reckoning. And as long as he breathed, Adrian's empire would burn. The city whispered his name once more, louder than ever. Daniel Cross, the ghost of New Harbor, the man who couldn't be killed. And that's where we leave Daniel tonight, alive, but facing a war far bigger than vengeance. Do you think he was right to spare Ethan? Or should he have ended him when he had the chance? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget, hit that subscribe and smash the like so you never miss the next dark tale of betrayal, power, and revenge. Because in this city the story never ends.